All right. Hi, everybody. We are here doing our first parent workshop, and we're going to cover technology tonight. So, Zach, I'll have you bring up my presentation, and we'll go through and introduce folks. We're really excited. We hope we have some people joining us on YouTube. Lenny, do you want to watch the YouTube channel for questions?
Yes, I got it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. So, if you have any questions, you can type those into the chat on YouTube, and we will do our best to address them. If you're still coming to the cab to join us today, remember to use the door that's on the foothill side of the building. We do have somebody watching it for the next 5 minutes or so. If not, you can jump in YouTube and give us a chat and we'll run and let you in. Okay, so we're gonna go to our next slide. The first thing I wanna do is introduce my department. We don't have everybody here tonight, unfortunately, but we do have a pretty good showing. My name is Stephanie Tolman. I am the Chief Information Officer for the IT department for the school district. And then I will just go down to Diana. I'll let you introduce yourself first.
I'm Diana Romero. I'm the computer repair specialist.
There we go. Okay, my name is Kayla Boyd. I have 4 buildings. I'm a building tech, so I have Eastside, Walnut, Overland, and Wamsutter.
My name is Andrea Justice, and I'm a building tech for Rock Springs Junior High and Stagecoach Elementary.
Perfect. My name is Timmy Liu, and I am the building tech support for the junior high and Stagecoach with Andrea.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lenny Liu, and I'm the integration specialist for the district.
My name is Leanne Chesnavar. I am the tech support for Rock Springs High School and Farson Eden.
Okay, so we also have Gwen, our administrative assistant. She is watching the door for the time being, but you'll see from this presentation, and I want to let everybody know that we're going to make this available to people. So you'll be able to use some of the links that we have in it. We'll share it up after we're done with the presentation. But we have 10 techs who support our buildings, our staff, and our students. You'll see the list at the top. They're broken into 5 teams, so there's pairs. So we have 2 people to support every building, and that way we can cross-train and our students are left waiting, hopefully. We have a lot of devices that we support for a lot of kids and a lot of staff members, and I'm really excited. I have a good department that does that. We also have Zach Gunyon, who is running the show over there. You can't see him. He probably won't even put the camera on himself, Zachary. But we have Zach Gunyon, who is our network specialist. Lenny, as she introduced herself. Courtney, if you have Power School questions, she's the one that can help you. Eaker for systems. Again, you can just reference this slide if you ever have any questions. Next slide, Zach. Sorry, making this real hard because I didn't want to run a cable. We're going to keep this very low key, very casual. Shh. As I said, we're going to be very casual. The one thing I want everybody to find out from this is that everybody in the department is very approachable. We're here to support our kids, we're here to support our staff, and we want to just make sure that we're giving our kids and our teachers what they need in order to be successful getting their education. So we're going to cover why we have technology. We're going to talk about our insurance, how to take care of your devices, and also our content filtering. We're going to touch on digital citizenship. And then a lot of the questions we got from our survey was our apps. It feels like there's so many apps. So we have Parent Square and Power School, and then we will cover Canvas. And that will be Timmy Liu going over that with you guys. We have some really exciting stuff for you. And then finally, we'll give everybody time for questions. Okay, so for our department, our vision, we really are focused on technology, but we think that it's a tool. We know that it's a tool for education. It is not the end all be all. It's not going to make our kids learn better. It is not going to do any of that, but we want to make sure that they have the tools that they need in order to be successful and to get exposure to the things that they're going to find out in the real world and honestly in everyday life. So we really want to be epic in our department. We want to empower, promote, integrate, and champion technology to make sure everybody has what they need. Okay, so the big question we get a lot is why do we use iPads and laptops? Why do we give these to all of our kids? I think for a long time, society really thought, well, if you give every kid a computer, they're going to be amazing. They're going to learn everything, but we know that's not the case. What really makes a difference for every student is to have a quality teacher in the classroom. But just like you have families who maybe can't afford to have technology at home, we really want to make sure that all our kids get that same opportunity and the same exposure. So it's our responsibility to provide fair access for our kids who maybe don't get that chance. It's a necessity. I think internet is headed the direction of being just as important as power and water in some cases. I mean, it's needed for almost every aspect of life now. Our students come from really diverse backgrounds. We have a very wide variety of people in our community and of mobility. We have kids who are in and out all the time. And give them what they need. For those families who maybe can't afford internet, as I said, it's becoming more of a necessity, more of a utility. We have the opportunity to provide a jetpack at home so our kids can apply to get internet assistance at home so they have what they need to connect their district devices. It's not a Netflix, I'm sorry, but we provide jetpacks to connect district technology so kids can access their work and study. We want to make sure they all have the same access to different applications, and we're hearing noise. Diana's helping Zach. It's okay, Zach. It's me. I don't know. It's fine. It's okay. Don't panic. So we want to make sure everybody has the same opportunity to access different applications. We want to level the playing field. If one kid can access Reading Horizons online, we want every kid to be able to do that and to have that same access. Finally, why does it have to go home every night? That is the big question that we get all the time. Thank you, Zach. That is, I don't know if you've heard, but we live in Wyoming. We tend to have some weather. I think the most exciting was 2 snow days in a row in April of all months. So we have temporary virtual days. We passed policy IDA right around the time of COVID because we wanted to make sure that we had the policy in place to be able to meet the needs of our families. If our kids can't come to school, I mean, hopefully we never ever shut down like we did for COVID again, but fortunately our district was really prepared. We had already assigned all of our K-4 students iPads. All of our 412 students with laptops and the secondary kids were taking them home. So we want to make sure that we're ready for. I wonder what that is. That's wild. Okay. Ooh, don't make me so loud. I'm loud enough. So the reason that we send it home every day is you never know. We could go to bed and it's 60 degrees today and wake up tomorrow to 3 feet of snow, but we're not going to tomorrow. It's okay. We're gonna have a beautiful fall again. I can feel it in my heart. We could also have a school maybe that doesn't have power for some reason, or they have a flood or water issues. So we could quickly. Slide. Thank you, Zach. Next slide is just access for our technology handbook. So everything we're covering here is in the handbook. You can scan the QR code, download it. You can also just find it on our website, sweetwater1.org, and the handbooks link. And that'll have, not only do we have our tech handbook there, but we have our athletics handbooks, our student handbooks, our school handbooks for each one of our schools. Next, Zach. Okay, we want to make sure that our kids know, and I think last year we rolled out the laptops for 3rd graders at Christmas, right before Christmas break, and that was an amazing feat. We want to make sure that our kids know how to take care of them. So Kayla, I think, actually created a cute little presentation and a video to teach our kids to care for their laptops. Kayla, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Okay, so over at Walnut, like Stephanie said, we were able to roll out all of the laptops for the 3rd graders during Christmas. So what my partner and I, Stacy, wanted to do was go into every single classroom, and we wanted to be able to show the kids how to take care of them. And I want to say that it actually did make a difference, like showing them how to like take care of a laptop and how to clean it. because we had much less breakage than I was expecting for third graders. So that was really nice. So the care basics are basically making sure that your computer is charged. We want to make sure that the screen and the keyboard are staying clean, so we show them how to do that. We also want to make sure that they know that they need to shut their laptops off every couple of days, which, believe me, I'm very guilty of this, where I don't shut off my laptop for 3, 4, 7, 10 days. But we do want to try and get in the habit of that because it does help everything else, all the software, to work better. We also want to make sure we're putting it somewhere safe. So I always have the kids, I always ask them, like, is the laundry hamper a great place for a laptop? And they're always like, oh no, but you'd be surprised. So always listening and following their teachers, and of course carrying it with 2 hands because kids like to play balancing games with the laptops a lot. So yeah, we definitely want to emphasize that too.
Do you want to flip us to the next one, Zach? We're even harder than a board meeting, aren't we?
He's like multitasking.
All right. So Kayla, I'll let you go ahead and take the cleaning too, because I think
Okay.
you guys were, I think you're right that we had a lot less damage for our third graders than we expected
Yeah,
last
it
year.
was really nice. So, and the kids were really good with it too, which was actually really surprising. So, so we always want to make sure the computer is turned completely off before we clean it. We always want to use something that's soft and lint-free cloth to dust it off. That way those little fibers that are from like the towels and stuff don't get stuck in there and on the screen. Like I said, we only want it a little bit damp. So if anything, we always teach them to wring it out really, really, really good to make sure it's not getting sopping wet because we don't want all of that in the keyboard, of course. And that's going to be avoiding the moisture that gets in there. So that way we're not having to, send things over to Diana. So, all right, next slide. Okay, and then of course, avoiding accidents before they happen. So there are a lot of them, but the most common ones that I see are kids that leave paper clips or pencils in the hinge and it just breaks that bottom part. So we always try and remind them like, hey, like make sure that we're not leaving anything in there before we close it, or like a classmate maybe comes to the back and slams it down. I've seen that. And then of course it is Wyoming, so we get a lot of different extremes with temperature. So it's kind of important that we're not like leaving it in cars or keeping it outside on the sidewalk, and not eating and drinking around it as well. So that way the crumbs aren't in there.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Kayla. I think we are ready to talk a little bit about our broken devices. So we do charge a $20 insurance. I think it jumps. Yep, we talk to the insurance here in just a little bit. But one thing we want to make really clear is that we don't cover intentional damage. The insurance covers accidental. So in that case where the student had their work on their laptop and a friend comes by and shuts it, that's not intentional damage. That's not intentional neglect. It's just an accident, and maybe your friend isn't as funny as they think they are, but I've also been the not funny friend before on accident. So we really just want to make sure that our kids know to come to us if they have something that happens. Stuff happens. It's one of my favorite phrases. You never know when we've had kids studying and they fall asleep with their computer and then it falls off the bed and breaks. That's an accident. We don't want to hurt our families. Let's go to the next one, Zach. This slide, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but it talks about in the handbook what the difference is between accidental and intentional. There's really very few things that we would consider intentional damage. One big one is picking keys off the keyboard. Diane, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about why the repair for that is Gwen scooching away like you're sick or something. Come on, Gwen. We're having fun. I have some samples of keyboards up here, and I'll have, if you're okay with it, Diana, talking a little bit. She's our repair person, so she's the one who sees every single broken device that comes in from our staff and our students. Thankfully, we finally, once we went one-to-one, the volume was just insane. So we do send stuff out for repair, but Diana still handles a whole lot of repairs in-house. If you guys have kids who are interested in learning how to repair hardware, they can come intern with us and learn. So.
Okay, the one that she's showing now is, I think those are the high school and the junior high. No, the high school in Black Butte. They're the 13-inch. On those, there's a little rubber piece on there, and that's what actually pushes. If that gets broken, it's a whole top case. And that, what she's showing right now, the whole computer, the whole keyboard part, that's a whole top case. So it's replacing the keyboard and the trackpad. Yeah, so the whole piece right there is the whole top case.
Yeah, we have a lot of people who ask us, why is the repair cost for a keyboard so much? It's about $200 on average. Often it's more than that, but it's because we end up having to replace this entire piece. And it's
And-
still cheaper than a whole new computer.
And on the newer machines, they're going to be a little bit more expensive because it has the battery, the microphone, the trackpad, and the keyboard all on that top case. So it's going to be more expensive because you're getting, all of it's going to be brand new. On those, the little white mechanism in the keyboard,
Ooh, this one,
oh no,
this one.
yeah.
There we go. Look at me. Here, give it to her. She's the one who can point. We didn't think this through. It's okay. We're winging it. We're the first workshop of the year.
Okay, and I don't know how well you can see it. Where do you need me to hold it?
There we go.
So there's a little white clips. Here, let me just pop one off.
Now, don't do this at home.
I can't lift my nails.
We'll get it. That's the main thing. If you see your kids picking at their keys on their keyboards, please encourage them not to. All of you guys with fake nails can't get into them.
I can't get them with my fake nails.
No, but just, talk to your kids about that. That's really, the keys aren't going to pop off. They aren't going to, we're not going to have a situation where the keys just jump off the keyboard. So typically we look at missing
Just pop
keys
the key off.
as
yeah. You can.
intentional damage. It's okay, girls. We're fine.
Okay, but there's a little white clip in there that holds the keys in.
Yeah, see? Okay, this is a perfect
If they get
example.
broke, they have to, the key can be replaced on these. Actually, on all of them, they can be replaced. So on these older ones, they're easier. But there is a little rubber piece inside here. If that gets ripped off, we have tried to super glue them on. Not always a fun task, and it doesn't always work. The little white clip, you can barely see it. Sometimes the keys get broken. What I run into though is it's the arrow keys that they're picking off. And we're running out of them. So I try and save as many of these as I can, just so I can take keys off of other devices. But most of the time I don't have them because I'm using them.
Yeah.
The newer machines, I have that one.
Let me bring you the space bar.
Okay, and this is off of a newer machine. It's the space bar. If it gets liquid or gets broken, or if this white clip gets broken, it's going to be a whole top case replacement also. There's also a membrane. No, not on these ones. On the newer one, there's the membrane. If the membrane gets broke, it's a whole top case replacement. Because there's no way for me to replace just the white membrane on it.
Yeah.
That's dirty.
So we get a lot of questions when parents get on the fine list for $200 for a keyboard replacement, but we really want to make it clear that the keys, as you just saw, are very difficult to get off the keyboard. If something happens, if I've been known to drop my gigantic water bottle, if I were to happen to drop my water bottle on my, case in point, if I were to drop my water bottle on my keyboard, there's a good chance I could lose. We're like a comedy skit. Like, let's be honest, everybody relax. There's a really good chance that it would pop keys off in that case or break some. And we don't want to hurt our kids. That's not picking keys off. I think the most important thing, Zach, let's go to the next slide. I think the most important thing is just making sure you talk with your students about reporting damage. So if something happens, just report it right away. Don't be scared. We don't want kids going around with a keyboard or a laptop where they dropped their 47-pound water bottle on it and they're missing half their keys, trying to learn. We don't want them to do that. We want to get them a replacement device and get them what they need. Typically, we'll ask them to write a statement just so we can tie that with the computer if something were to happen. Just to let us know what's going on. We'll get them a replacement. We'll get it back in their hands so that they have what they need. So Always let your tech know. They're friendly. They're nice. Look at Kayla. And Andrea and Timmy and Leanne. They're just all so friendly. Just come talk to us, please. We want to get you guys what you need. And the worst part, or the worst time to find damage is in July when we're going through. Teachers have collected all the devices, and poor Gwen gets the phone calls from the parents who end up on the fine list. And she's having to try to explain, well, your student had a shattered screen and didn't report it or let us know what's going on. So just let us know what's happening. And we want to help our kids for sure. So on our device insurance, we do ask that that's paid every year, a new payment every year, really $20 for the whole year. And that protects you against any of that accidental damage. The kid who slams the screen down, the dropping it. We have a couple of quiz questions coming up here pretty quick. So we'll do those with you guys. But also know that when you do break a device, if you're a third grader breaking a brand new device, there's a good chance that they may not be getting a new one back. It may be one that Kayla had broken and we got it in and got it fixed and ready to go, but we didn't want Kayla to go out. So she had one that Gwen had broken that had been fixed and repaired. So, and if there's a whole lot of breaking, if maybe we have a kiddo who's come to us with 4 different devices in 2 years, which it happens, they're probably going to get an older device, just, for everybody's sanity. Okay, let's go to our next one. We have a quick quiz here. So which one of these would be considered intentional damage? So A, student trips on the ice and lands on their computer bag. B, a student picks at their keys and 2 of them break off, which we just saw how hard that is to do. C, a student closes their laptop with a pencil inside. Or D, a student's walking home, it begins raining, and the computer gets wet and then doesn't turn on. Next slide, Zach. So after the big demonstration we just did, I hope everybody got that the keys got picked off as the intentional damage. So the student would be fined in this case. And typically, if any of those little pieces are broken or it's a top case replacement, it's going to be about a $200 fine for that keyboard. Again, we want to work with families. We've set up situations where maybe kids come and clean computers on a Friday. We don't want to hurt our kids or our families, but we also want them to be responsible and take kind of some ownership and, realize the tool that they have and how important it is for their education. Oh, this one went right to the answer. Nope, it didn't. That's me. Okay, Zach, next one, right there. Okay, which one would be considered accidental damage? I do want to say that all of these examples are legit examples that we have had. So A, punching the screen of the computer, maybe getting a little frustrated with a IXL or something. B, dragging your backpack with your device in it behind your bicycle on the way home. C, picking off the arrow keys. Or D, your computer or iPad gets bumped off your desk and the screen shatters. So that one seems pretty obvious too. Your computer or iPad gets bumped off your desk and your screen shatters. Timmy, do you have anything to say about broken devices? You deal with a lot. You and Andrea deal with quite a few. We don't want to hurt our kids. We really don't want to hurt our kids, I think is the main thing.
Love to throw a little bit in.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I think Steph touched on it, and I think that's a really important thing when we've thought about what's accidental and what's intentional. And when we were implementing the one-to-one, starting actually in 2019, a little bit before COVID for the secondary buildings, when we were talking about having to replace devices, the biggest thing is we wanted to make sure that we weren't kind of punishing kids, that we gave kids more than anything else the device that they needed to be successful in the classroom. So it's not really about it being a huge disciplinary type thing, but it's making sure that kids have the resources they need to learn and be successful.
And I'm just going to throw a little bit of extra in there when it comes to the insurance. We get a lot of parents that will, yeah, my kid broke his computer on purpose. I paid for insurance. Why isn't that helping? That's a huge thing. If you think about things like car insurance and house insurance, if you intentionally set fire to your house, your insurance is not going to pay you for it. They're going to send you to jail for that. Now, that's not to the extreme that we're going, but if it's intentionally broken, which I did see actually quite a lot of this week, insurance isn't going to cover something that you did on purpose. I mean, if you go out and you purposely drive your car into a pole, insurance is going to say, oops, well, we're not going to cover that because you did that on purpose. And that's not just coming from somebody that does this kind of insurance, but I have also been involved with home and auto insurance as a salesperson and an underwriter and everything as well. So that's the best way that I can explain it is
helps our kids understand too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I have actually explained that to kids that, you know, when you're an adult and you have your own insurance on a car or a house, if you do something to break it on purpose, insurance isn't going to help you cover it. You're going to have to pay for that yourself. And then if you don't have the insurance, the same rule applies because you're going to have to cover it anyway if you don't. And like Steph said and Timmy said, we don't want to hurt our kids at all. We want them to all have the same opportunity to learn the same way and flourish the same way in this ever evolving technology world that we live in. And, you know, just like them, we're also learning the same way every day. But I like to see our kids do great with their devices. I really do. But it is a little frustrating when people don't quite understand the insurance process.
I think we're getting there too. And I
And-
think,
Yes.
yeah, I do for sure. I think we're getting there. I think kids are learning to appreciate it a little bit more and just know that they need it because they can't do their homework. Leanne and William talked about a fun thing that they did over the summer. So they are the support for the high school in Farson. And they actually, as they went through and checked in devices, and we touch them all every summer, every device gets touched. If they found keys broken, they stuck a note in it and said, you know, you didn't report this last year, so we're assuming you're okay to still use it, and gave that back. So the one thing that I think really helps is the kids are getting the same device back each year. So if I know that I'm going to get this back with the potential to purchase a device when I graduate, I'm probably going to take a lot better care of it if I know that it could be mine maybe when I go off to college or go out into employment. Zach, do you want to bring up our fine page real quick? The slide. Thank you. So this is just a quick slide to let you know insurance doesn't cover chargers. We do get that question quite a bit. If your charger's lost, you'll get the $25 fee for a computer charger, $20 for an iPad charger. We do engrave the chargers at the secondary level. So if your kid's charger is stolen and then another kid turns it in at the end of the year, your kid isn't fined for that. That other kid who doesn't have their engraved charger is turned in. If a device is lost, then there is the full replacement cost. And again, these are lower prices than what we actually pay for the devices. We don't want to hurt our kids. This isn't a money-making endeavor by any means. $20 is not covering a top case replacement, but we do have to be able to do our repairs and get all of that taken care of. So just talk to your kids. Have them let us know. Please let us know if something happens, an accident happens. Just meet with your tech, talk to your tech, and we'll get you taken care of and we'll get a new device set up for you. Okay, so I think a big one is our safe use of technology. So now that we're done with all the crappy broken stuff, because that's a bummer to talk about, I think it's really important that we talk about kind of some of the tools by giving all of our kids a device, something that we can do. We actually monitor all of our district devices. So we do this with an app called Securely. We have a content filter we're required by law using the Child Internet Protection Act. We actually monitor all their network use. And we block content. So we block pornography, we block violence. There's a lot of things that we just, for the sake of our kids, we have to make sure that they can't get to. That's not to say some things don't sneak in, but the second they come to our attention, we make sure we get in and block those. We encourage our parents to download the Securely app. So this is an app that you can use to set up bedtimes for your children, so they are bringing it home. You know, I know in some families, it's my first grade granddaughter. She comes home and tells me my teacher said that my iPad is for school and I just have to plug it in and that's all I have to do. So she brings her iPad home, she plugs it in, and she doesn't ever look at it again. But her 9-year-old sister loves YouTube and loves being on her laptop. So her mom has downloaded the Securely parent filters so they can go in as a parent and sign up. Zach gets everybody added. You can set internet times, you can set bedtimes. Maybe you have a dinner time. Maybe you limit the amount of time over the weekend or when they're at home that they're on it. You can also shut the internet off to it, just all right there from your phone to the student's device. A really important thing that we've implemented is our Bark alerts. So Bark for Schools is a system that kind of monitors their email, it monitors their Google Documents, slides, pictures, everything in their Drive. And it will actually send us an alert if there's something concerning. So this could, and Securely does the same thing for internet searches. But if we have a student who says, I want to die, or a student who's maybe looking up the suicide hotline. Now, we do get a lot of alerts from our freshmen over the last couple weeks because they are doing a mental health section. So there's a lot of Google. So we always kind of check just to make sure. But when we get a notification, so when we get something that they're searching on the internet, it usually goes to Zach, who will then forward it to me or straight to the building administrators. We've had cases on a weekend where maybe you have a student that you're really concerned by some of the searches that they're doing. So we will reach out and call administrators who then call and talk to parents, talk to the student, and get them the resources that they need. So I think that's been huge. Our Bark system that's watching their Google Drive will watch for, kids will get into Google Docs and chat back and forth. They talk back and forth in a shared document, and they'll watch for violence. They'll watch for, concern of self-harm or swear words. We shut that one down a little bit because you get a whole lot of emails, unfortunately, for swear words. But we have that. And if there's something that's really concerning, we have actually had Bark call. There's numbers, they have numbers for our administrators, and they will call in the middle of the night if there's a concern with a student who maybe has expressed, a desire to hurt themselves or that they're really, really struggling mentally. So we're very thankful that we have that Bark for Schools that keeps us up to date on what our kids are doing. Another important thing about the safe use of technology is making sure our kids are good digital citizens. I've shared on this slide, there's some great resources. Digital Citizenship Week is actually the week of October 16th. So I'm hoping to send some things out to our families that you can share with your kids. Our teachers can share with students on how do you use the internet responsibly, and is everything you see true? If you read it on the internet, is it true? If it's on Facebook, Diana, I hate to break it to you. It's not. There's some fun exercises on working with your kids to spot ads. Like, what is this an ad? If it's an ad, what is this for? So I encourage you, once we post this presentation, to jump on there and look at commonsense.org is a great resource for families, great resource for teachers. I'm going to pull a lot of stuff from it to help our kids over Digital Citizenship Week. We want them to be safe and we want them to be effective, and don't believe everything you see, and be skeptical, and really critically think about what you're seeing and what you're needing to find and what kind of resources you need. So we talked a little bit about SIPA. Through our monitoring, there's sometimes things come up. You see bullying, or you see maybe a kid's really, really struggling. So there on our website, we have Safe to Tell Wyoming, which is sponsored by the state of Wyoming. It's a free program, totally anonymous, where kids, if they see something, they can say something and let somebody know. Again, the people at Safe to Tell Wyoming have contact information for all of our administrators at our school. So if one of our kids flags, or maybe somebody's reporting something with one of our kids, they can reach out directly to our administrators through their cell phones and let them know what's going on. Our bullying prevention page is there to report bullying. The more information we can get, the better off we're going to be. We really want to do a thorough job of investigating and making sure that all of our kids feel safe when they come to school. And then finally, I actually sat through a presentation. We did a school safety presentation last week, and there's some excellent internet safety resources on the Internet Crimes Against Children Act, and there's a link for that down at the bottom of this page. I encourage you, talk to your kids about who they're talking to, if they're talking. Thankfully, through our content filter, we block on their devices that we provide the social media and those types of things. We don't want any chat features that are through our school systems. We block that so that our kids can't be meeting strangers on the internet necessarily. But that every kid has a phone now, it seems like, everywhere you look. So these are some great resources to really visit with your kids or the young people in your life about how to be responsible and know who you're talking to. All right, so we're getting into the fun app stuff. Do you have any questions so far? Are you sure? They can't see you. There's no spotlight on you. It's okay. Like this could just be a conversation. We won't give you a microphone unless you want one. Okay, so I'm going to jump into PowerSchool. I think a lot of stuff we get is why. Why are there so many apps? Why do we have so many things that we're asking our kids to get into, our parents to get into? What is this all about? So we kind of want to clear that up. We want parents to create a PowerSchool account. This is kind of the main house. This is the country of your students' education as far as all their historical data, their attendance, their grades, their schedules. We keep 504 information in there, and we've recently moved all of our forms into PowerSchool. So the paper packets that used to go home every year, I remember the yellow one especially, where it was check the boxes for the health form and do this, and then I'd get the paper back the next year and it still had my husband's wrong phone number on it, and what the heck, I updated that last year, and why did we get that? And this person who was an emergency contact has gone crazy, and we don't want that person picking them up anymore. And so it's really been tough because you're dealing with these paper forms for years and information changes. We had over 500 moves, student transitions from the start of the year until just a couple weeks ago. So what that means is a kid changed schools, a kid was new to our district, a kid left our district. So over 500 of those in our district in a matter of a month and a half, which is a lot. So information's constantly changing. We ask everybody to create their PowerSchool account, and I think most people have got it. We went through a rough few years, Gwen, but we made it. Remember, I told you someday to be on the other side. PowerSchool changed everything. I think 3 years in a row. Changed everything, and it was really tough for us. It was tough for our parents, but the dust is settled. Each year we ask that our parents do our returning student registration form. So this is where you're going to come in and make sure that your address information is correct. The field trip, the infamous field trip permission that everybody wants. I'm telling you over the phone, let my kid go on the field trip. No, we actually have to have something documented, and we have to do that every year. Every summer we reset that because you never know if a situation changes. Maybe there's something with the health of a student that's come up and you don't want them on field trips anymore. We just want to make sure each year our parents give us permission for that. You can also monitor grades. That's where report cards come from PowerSchool. So when we're sending out report cards each year or each quarter, that comes from PowerSchool. So we ask you to do the returning student form. We do our device use agreement, which just is kind of a synopsis of or a summary of the handbook that says, I'm not going to pick my keys off. I realize this is a tool I need for my education. I'm going to take the best care of it that I can. And the health inventory. If health information changes, that stuff goes straight to our nurses. It's also housed in PowerSchool. So if you have a kiddo who maybe developed asthma over the summer or, a type 1 diabetic, this is where you can put that information in and it flags our nurses so that they know to work with that student and maybe get a 504 in place. The student contact form, we used to do this, and I think you still can through our registration form, but it's really important to use that student contact form. That's where if, the neighbor lady that used to pick your kids up has gone crazy and you don't want her doing that anymore, that's where you can go in and remove that person. And you can make sure that the contact information is updated and it's updating straight into the database. So it's no more of the paper form where I've updated the number for 3 years and it still hasn't changed. You're in control of that information. I will say our secretaries do have to approve it. You can't remove legal guardians or parents off the birth certificate. You can't remove those folks from the system because we do have reporting that we're required to do by the state. But as far as your emergency contacts, your phone numbers, you can control your email addresses. Let's go to our next one real quick, Zach, because that talks about the receives mail tool. So for my granddaughters, my stepdaughter actually goes in and checks the box that as an emergency contact, I can also receive mail. So that means I get Parent Square notifications. My mom gets them for my nephew. I know we use our poor families are our test people so often for this. But by checking yes to the receives mail for a contact, that means that person is going to be synced with Parent Square, which brings us to our second app. Do you want to talk about Parent Square, Gwen? No? Anybody? I got it. I can do it. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just getting sick of my own voice. That's okay. Parent Square is our communication tool. So that is how we send information out. You learned about this meeting through Parent Square. Hopefully you learned to use the door on the foothill side of the building through Parent Square tonight. Schools send out newsletters, they send out drill information, information about parent nights, and then teachers send information from the classroom level. You can directly message your child's teachers through Parent Square. We send secure documents through Parent Square, so that's where we send our report cards each year. So it's a secure login. We can go in and verify that, yeah, we did send it. It was sent this day. If you happen to be on fees and fines, that information comes through Parent Square. It kind of gives us that check, and it also gives our parents that instant information that people are so used to getting. Sure, absolutely, Andrea.
As some of you may know, the technology department is who runs the reunification drills. And that information comes from Parent Square. So when you're coming to the drills or an actual pickup, let's hope that doesn't, knock on wood, happen. If you don't show up on time because you didn't get your Parent Square notification on time or you didn't open it, that's where all those are going to come from. That's going to be our communication way to our parents and guardians in the event of an emergency. That will be the only form of communication as to keep our students safe. And I think that's really important to bring up here because we do get a lot of questions about that at those drills.
Yes, that's very true. We do have some big reunifications coming up actually here pretty soon. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're doing 3 groups. So we have 3 groups of buildings that are in the close proximity that are going to do their drills together. Parent Square is where they'll let you know, hey, come grab your kid if you're able to, come get them up at the college or at the rec center. Okay, you have to be here by 3:00. Yep, that's what I was going to do next. Yep. So that's the emergency contacts. But you have to be here by 3 if you want to pick your student up. Otherwise, they're going to be loaded on the bus. So, if you don't make it, then you'll want to pick them up at the school or how you normally would. And this is where the emergency contacts come in. So if you don't have your emergency contacts updated and I send Kayla like, oh gosh, Kayla, I can't make it. And Livy's driving me crazy. Will you please go pick Livy up? She wants picked up. If Kayla's not on my list, then Kayla can't pick her up. So it's through that Power School student contact update form that you can put in your emergency contacts and make sure that you have people who are okay to pick up your children from school. And you can see everybody in the list, which isn't something that we could always do. So I found folks from years ago. I also found that I'm the contact for hundreds of children. not hundreds, but a lot. It felt like 100. Okay. Yes, go ahead. Oh, yes. So you can adjust your settings in Parent Square to receive notifications instantly or via digest. So a digest, if you have a school that sends a lot of messages, you can actually just get an email at the end of the day that's going to sum everything up. We can override that. So in a true urgent situation, we can send a post instantly, but the majority of our communication we send via digest. I recommend if you have the app on your phone, just using the app and having the app notifications be immediate, because then you see them, they pop up, you can see if it's urgent. And then I do digest the regular communication, but yeah, make sure that you go in and check your settings on your note. I look exhausted. Look at me. I look so tired. That's okay. Zach, let's go back to the presentation. Yes, Lenny. Yeah, go ahead, Lenny, please.
Sorry, we have a question online. How do we set up a Power School account? Do I need my child's student ID number and things like that?
Yes, that is an excellent question. Thank you so much for asking it. We have, Zach, I don't know if you want to go to our website really quick. Thank you. Always on the fly with me. So sweetwater1.org, we have all of the directions for creating your parent or your Power School account. So it's down under, I can't see. Yep. So if you're under Quick Links, you can go to Power School to go through and sign in. But then we also have directions right there. I'm pointing at the TV like you can see me, you can't. But we have PDF directions where you can go through and it's going to walk you through. What you do need is your student's username and password. And the main thing for that is that for the parent account, you're just going to put a P in front of it. So if I'm John Smith, I might be 23 Smith JO. So for my parent account, when I go to create it, I'm going to put P 23 Smith JO. And then the WM12345, I'm going to put P WM12345. Now, if you don't know that information, you can reach out to your child's school and they can help you get that. I know we also field a lot of calls in our department that we can help. We're going to verify information. We won't just hand that out to anybody over the phone. But yeah, we're happy to help everybody get an account set up. Did I answer it, Lenny? Did I do a good job? Okay, thank you, Zach, for bringing that up so quick. Okay, so back to our apps, PowerSchool, Parent Square, and Canvas. Oh my, you guys are probably going, what is happening? Why are there so many apps? Well, I just want to say, like I said, PowerSchool is kind of the nation. It's kind of the whole information, the big picture of your child and how they're doing, what their history with Sweetwater One is. Parent Square is our communication tool. It's the news. It's how you find out what's happening, where it's happening, and when it's happening. We're going to jump into Canvas here pretty soon with Timmy and Lenny, but I just wanted to touch really quick on, even I get confused on these, on ClassLink and Clever. So these are some single sign-ons. If your student has an iPad, they've already been installed on their iPad and they have their directions for signing in, they should be getting in. The beautiful thing about both of those programs is they can access any of the district software that they might need. So Lenny, I can't even think of an example, like Reading Horizons is one that they can get in. Dreambox, they can get in. IXL.
Yes, so most of the software, we try and use those two programs, ClassLink and Clever, and they're both on the student links if anyone needs to find them. And the reason that we put them in there is so the students don't have to remember extra logins. I mean, we struggle as adults remembering what all of our logins are for our programs. This way they log into the program once and then they can access all of the apps inside of both of those.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lenny. I appreciate that. So if you ever have any questions on the apps that your kids have, on the programs that they're using in their class, on, you know, my granddaughter keeps telling me about this Dreambox, and she needs to do this, and I have no idea where to find it, just reach out. You can message through Parent Square. You can message your student's teacher. You can call our department. You can call the school. Just reach out. We want to help. We don't want people to struggle. You shouldn't be sitting at home struggling. And I will say that over this week, we have had all of our schools are doing practice temporary virtual days. So so we don't have hopefully a snowstorm, but if something were to happen and our kids had to stay home, your teachers have spent time this week working with them like, hey, if you're home, here's what you're going to do. Here's where you're going to check. Here's where you're going to do your Dreambox assignments, or here's where you're going to do IXL. Just to make sure that they're comfortable with, I can hear my little prez. I can hear already, if God forbid we have a temporary virtual day. My teacher says that I can use my iPad at home now, but I have to go to Dreambox and I have to do this. So yeah, we want to make sure you guys have what you need and our kids have what they need. But we are going to jump into Canvas because this is a really powerful tool, really great tool for our parents to be able to kind of monitor and help their kids. I know the secondary level, it's really tough. And sometimes it's like, I don't even know what my daughter's doing or if she's doing her homework or where she's behind. You kind of feel like you're hit out of left field at conferences or report card time. So these guys are going to walk you through how you can be more involved.
Thank you, Steph. So we're just going to go over what Canvas is. We were kind of excited when we were able to get this. This is our 4th year with the integration of Canvas. It's a learning management system. And the reason that we really like it is the state of Wyoming adopted it. So if you have a student that comes from another school district and or a college, they're going to continue to use this no matter what school they're in Wyoming and then what college they're using. So it's not another system that they have to use or have to learn how to use when they come in. Our district is using it for secondary, and then our virtual school and our Farson Elementary and Farson High School are using it as well. And the great thing about Canvas is it's a one-stop place for the teachers and the students to house all of their assignments, house their conversations, their videos, and all of that. So we're excited that they allow parent observation apps, so you can sign up and you can go in and see when your students are attending classes and turning things in, if they're missing assignments, if they're participating in class, in discussions, in groups, checking on the videos that they need to check on. It's just a really great tool, and we are very thankful that we have it here. The one place that the students and the parents can go to check on things.
Yeah. So the next couple of slides, we're going to go through getting this Canvas Observer app for parents set up. So we can kind of show you how to do that. Then we can kind of show you what the Canvas Observer account for parent kind of looks like. So you can know where you can go to view your students' courses, view the assignments they have in the courses, their grades, view a calendar, which is really helpful of what's due when. You can also set up alerts for different classes. So if you want to have an alert when your student has a due date in their history class, you can kind of set up an alert where it'll pop up just like an SMS notification on your phone for that. So we're going to kind of step through all of those in the next couple slides here. Yeah, so this is kind of what we're talking about here. There is the Canvas Parent Account mobile app, which is available both on the iOS Store and Google Play Store for iPhones and Androids that you can download. We have the app photo right there. Through the mobile app, like I said, you can go through student courses and grades, view feedback on assignments. So if teachers put feedback on, hey, why did I get 80% on this project? You'll be able to see that feedback that your teachers are sharing with your students there. You can directly message your students' teachers through Canvas as well. And I mentioned the mobile alerts and the calendar of events. You can also sign into the Canvas app through the web browser for parents. And you can do everything that you can on the mobile app. Plus, you can view the student modules and all of the content. So all of the assignments, discussions, and quiz details that teachers assign to your students, you're able to kind of see that on the Canvas Parent app through the web browser as well. All right, so the mobile app here, once you get signed in, and don't worry, we're going to kind of go through what it looks like first and then how to sign in right after. Once you are signed in, you're going to get this screen on the left-hand side right here that's got the list of student courses and student grades. You can kind of see Canvas's test student here is just Emily Boone, but there's a little drop-down box. You can actually set up, if you have multiple kids in the district, you can set up and link your account to multiple kids. So that's how you would toggle between your different students right there. There are three options on the bottom, the courses, calendar, and alerts that we're going to come to. And then when you click on any course, it's going to show you the grades for that course, which is right what you get on the right-hand side there. So a list of grades, and then you can just kind of scroll up and down. And the little chat box on the course is the way to chat if you have a question for your student's teacher right there, okay, that you can type in. The calendar is the first screen we have up right here. The calendar by default is just a week view, but you can change that to just a day view or a month view as well. And if you click on a specific day, it will actually show you what is due at what time during that day for all of your students' courses. So this is a nice one-stop shop. Your students also have this on their Canvas. So sometimes when students get overwhelmed with having to look in different courses for Canvas, we recommend, hey, go check your calendar and it will actually show you what you need to do when. So that's a really great way for your students to kind of stay on top of everything. You can also click on the three lines on that parent account at the very top and access your inbox. So if you've sent any messages to teachers in the past and they're communicating with you, that's where you'll find that. And the last screenshot that we have up here for you is the alerts page. So here's where you can say, hey, if there's an assignment missing, if my student doesn't turn an assignment in, or if there's an assignment grade below 70%, you can set up those alerts and customize them how you want so that it will send you alerts for your students in their classes. And it does look a little bit different on the web browser versus the mobile app. I think they're working on making this two a little bit more unified, but this is how it looks on the web browser. On the far left-hand side, you'll see the account option and then dashboard, courses, calendar, inbox. history, and help. The calendar and courses are the same kind of look that you get on the mobile app. The inbox, instead of having to go to the three dots, is just right there where you can inbox your student's teacher, administrators, stuff like that. And then your account is just going to be your account options. So this view that we are in is in a specific course. I'm not sure what, Basic Written Communications 101, which is just the demo course that they have here for us. And you can kind of see all of the different options available within the course. So that's your homepage. So every course will actually have a homepage, which is kind of where students will get directed first. And then from there, they can get to their different content or their different information that their teachers are providing them. And then some courses, it depends on how your teachers set up their courses, will have announcements, assignments, discussions, quizzes, pages, files, a syllabus, and modules available on the side right there for you as well. So some teachers like to set up modules, others just like to set up assignments. And some teachers really design a homepage where you don't have to go through the left-hand side to scroll it. The kids will be able to just click on different icon boxes to take them where they need to go to get their work done. So all of the same thing that the students can really see within their Canvas from this web browser, you can kind of see as a parent as well. Okay. Can't do assignments for kids, but you can kind of see what they need to do. Okay.
That's probably.
Yes. All right, so now that we've showed you kind of what the Canvas account is, the next couple of slides are just how to set up the parent account. And both Lenny and I love helping parents do this. So if you have questions with this, please give us a call, 307-352-3460. And we will be happy to help you with that.
Gwen's like, that's my number.
That is all of our number.
It's
Yes.
everybody's number.
And it's really fast to set up an account. You can have it done within 3 minutes. Like, it is super fast for you to get that set up. So not a problem at all.
The first thing is your students will need to get their observer pairing code. So your student does have to be into their account to do this. If your student's kind of out of town and you need help doing this, Lenny and I can also help you get this observer code to pair with. Right here, it's a 6-digit code. And then from your device, either your smartphone or your computer, your tablet, you can download the app or go to our specific login website. That's https://sw1.instructure.com/login/Canvas. And that's a long link, but all of those links are available on our district website and then under parent links, under quick links. Very similar to where Zach went to get the PowerSchool link earlier. Yep, and
Yes, thank you.
thank you, Zach. Yeah, parent links. And then right down up there is create your Canvas account creation. And then we have step-by-step instructions right below as well. Right there.
We love to call those our chunky crayon
Chunky crayon
directions so
instructions,
that
yes.
it makes them a lot easier to follow. It looks like they're done with crayon.
Yep. Perfect. And yeah, Zach, I'll actually have you go and click on that link you're on right now. That community.canvas LMS page. So Canvas has this built for you, for parents and observers. So if you're like, hey, how do I do this on my parent observer account? Canvas has the answer for you right here. So we love sharing this link as well. So you can go in and find it. And a lot of these are just quick 2-minute videos. Hey, this is what I want to do. And this is how you can kind of do it from here. Okay. All right, so once you have the app on your phone or are on the website on the browser, we'll go ahead and head to the next slide. Thank you, Zach. Next, there'll be an option to create your account. You'll need to enter your name, email address, a password, and the pairing code from step 1. If you're using the mobile app, it will ask you to find your school first, and you'll type in just the word Sweetwater and select Sweetwater 1 parents. So that is in our step-by-step instructions online as well. But that will bring you to this page where you can enter and create your account. And then after that, it's just the step right here. You can kind of see at the very bottom where you enter the student pairing code that we mentioned earlier. And once you have that entered in, you can say start participating and it will bring you right to that home screen right away. So Zach kind of showed us this in real time, which was great. But you can find all of this information under parent links right there. And you can go to the Canvas Observer link for all the information by following that QR code.
Now we're to my favorite part. So we're just going to recap kind of everything that we went over with you guys. Thank you, first of all, to the team for being here. I really am so fortunate. I have the best tech team. I told them, I'm like, save hours. We're partying on Wednesday night in the boardroom. And my granddaughters thought I was a pretty big deal when I said I was going to the broadcasting studio and to watch me become YouTube famous tonight. So I don't know if we pulled it off, but Livy thought it was pretty cool. What's up, Liv? If she's not watching, I'm going to get her. Oh, I know. We got time. We got lots of time. We're going till 7:30, and we don't want to keep people here if they don't want to be here, but we do have time. I want to recap. We really just want to make sure our kids have equitable access to technology. That's why we're sending devices home. It's becoming more and more important in the modern world to be able to not only use technology, but to use it responsibly, to access a world of knowledge at your fingertips, and to be able to decipher what's real and what's fake news. So we really want to teach our kids all of that. We want them to take care of and appreciate their devices and not carry them with one hand down the hallway or carry them by the monitor. Report any damage right away, please, to us. If you have anything that happens, don't be scared. Just come talk to us, and we're happy to help. And we really want to get a new device set up for you, or new to use set up for you, so that you can be successful in school. Digital citizenship, keep an eye out. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff for that week coming from your local friendly IT department. Really excited for that. And then we've covered the applications that we have in the district and kind of the why of them. As you saw, Canvas takes care of a lot, and it's that real instant snapshot of what your kid's doing. And so if my parents would have had that for my siblings, I think their lives could have been different. Maybe. I don't know. I was too scared to be naughty in school. So do you have any questions for us? Is there anything that we didn't cover? Do you want help? Like Lenny and Timmy would be happy to help you set up an account. Yeah, we're happy to do that. And then I can keep an eye on the YouTube too.
Can I touch on one thing with Canvas and PowerSchool?
Sure, absolutely.
Something that I personally have had a lot of parents ask is, why do my students' grades look different on Canvas versus PowerSchool? And that Canvas does talk to PowerSchool, but it takes an overnight, sometimes 2 or 3 nights, depending on how quickly the PowerSchool server picks up the Canvas integration. So Canvas is typically the quickest way to see exactly what your students have turned in. It's pretty instantaneous from when they turn in an assignment, and then PowerSchool gets it from there. So that's why sometimes we get calls that PowerSchool doesn't always match Canvas, and that's why it's a syncing process. So I just wanted to cover that, because I did actually have a couple of calls about that today, actually. So
Timmy brought up a couple things. I sat down in this chair. It's like my brain goes dead. Oh, I'm going to do education framework really quick. Yes, education framework. So we talked about all the ways that we keep our kids safe, and we're monitoring their content. We're monitoring their access. We're limiting what they can get to. One thing that we do before we approve any application, we run it through a system called Education Framework that we pay for, which checks all the contracts to make sure that we're being FERPA compliant, SIPA compliant. We're keeping their data safe. We're not unintentionally selling data. We don't have their information being put out when they're creating an account for something that their teacher wants to use. So before teachers use anything, we always make sure we run that program through, and we don't approve it if it's not approved through Education Framework. The other thing, I did touch on this, and I do think it's a really neat feature. So we talked about kids taking more of an interest and more ownership, but if they did know, we have for the last, is this our 3rd year? Or our 2nd year selling computers to our seniors? 3rd year. So this is the 3rd year we've actually been able to offer some of the laptops that don't meet the needs of us in the district and our kids for what they need to do, but they work really well. We have been selling those to seniors for $50 when they graduate. We really would like to move towards a point where we can give them, if they've made it through their high school career or their time of having a device from 7th grade on maybe, and they haven't had any damage or any, explosions with their laptop, then we can just give them a computer, because we really want to give them what they need to be successful. I will say I was given the opportunity when I left. This is my 3rd time working for the district. I just love it. I was given the opportunity to purchase a laptop when I left, and I used that computer for 6 more years, and it was 8 years old when I bought it. I mean, they really, I will say the Macs run a really long time. So yeah, Diana's still using her 13-year-old computer that she purchased. So yeah, our kids can buy a computer or maybe even potentially be given a computer when they graduate with us. And yeah, so take really good care. Be kind. Yeah. Yeah. And Lenny's happy to help you. I will sit here. We'll probably shut our mics off, Zach. I'll keep an eye on the YouTube for questions. But if you guys want to help, I know that we have a lovely parent who wants to get set up. We could dance. You guys want to dance? Karaoke? No, Gwen, karaoke? Karaoke.
for him to turn the camera on you.
All right. Thanks, Zach. We'll keep watching. I'll keep watching until 7:30.
Sunshine Band and